Hey guys, Aiden here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why your first indie game should be a first-person game. Now, this is completely my personal opinion and it's very subjective, but here's the reason, here's a few reasons why you should start off with a first-person game. If you're a game developer and you haven't been living under a rock or something, you would probably know that most of the indie games nowadays are played from a first-person perspective. And it's not because of the aesthetic, it's actually because of it's what the developers do so that they don't have to put extra effort towards making their game, and they can still make it look good, make it so that the players are immersed into the game, but still make sure that it's not too hard to code or make. Now, the main reason behind this is because of how easy and the simplicity of making a first-person game. To cut it short, basically the developers are sort of lazy, so they really don't want to have to go through all the hassle towards making the player model, making sure that each animation is dynamic and reacts to your codes and the transitions and the setup of animations, all that and all. So they just decide to make the player like a floating controller instead of trying to actually give the player a body or something, because this makes it actually very easy to make. Like, if you have the base controller set up like this, all you have to do is to just come up with an environment and stuff. And making a first-person controller is pretty easy in Unity or any other game engine if you think about it. And there are lots of samples and projects out there that you can easily just start literally import and just start making your game. To be honest, there aren't any downsides of it. Like, it's just good. The game doesn't feel sturdy or anything. It feels more like narrative driven rather than seeing cutscenes of yourself and stuff like that. Now you might be thinking, what if I want to add NPCs or other characters to my game? Well, they're not dynamically controlled by the player themselves. You can easily implement the animations and make sure to add keyframes between scenes, or even on the even in game, that you can just simply do that. It's not all that hard. Like, you can just, it's more of like that you're coding, like literally telling it to do what it's supposed to do. And here's a good example of it. Like right now, as you can see this little bunny over here, it's not actually dynamically animated. It just has a few keyframes that at points it needs to jump between these particular areas. There's a hitbox that you would be able to interact with it if you get close enough to it and press a certain key. Now, this is pretty essential when it comes to development. Like, as you can see, this game just fits in perfectly with everything. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can make sure that the interactable objects or the persons or the characters that you're going to be having in your game have these like fixed amount of animations and the fixed amount of keyframes. Now, personally, I would just do it because it's easy to do, it's simple, it doesn't have to, you know, put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, just for starters, I would definitely recommend you trying out a first-person perspective game. So yep, that's pretty much it.